So this episode, we're totally going to force Nick Bono to say more stuff.
Oh, I'm not going to say anything.
Well, I'm going to force you to in a way that shouldn't get me arrested.
What? What kind of illegal touching are we going to get ourselves into in this
All of it.
episode 3 of the fine game of Nil? Oh, God. All right. So,
40, just like the movie, 40 Days and 40 Nights, I'm going to do it in a way that I won't touch you at all.
Go away right now. But, yeah, if you guys at home have any questions or you want us to discuss anything, feel free to let us know.
Yes, please, give us ideas. We can't know all the internets.
Can they hear this?
Or all the things.
Oh. Intro's going, everybody.
am I the only one who doesn't talk over the intro?
Probably.
Oh, man.
I'm Ass Heffiggy. Nice to meet you.
Is that your name for today?
This is an adventure. This is the memory. Life is a paradox. It's a mirror of confusion.
What are you gonna do?
Let's get ready to sucker.
This is a long intro.
It is a really long intro. But on that note, welcome to the next episode of the Fine Game of Nil. I'm Nick Bono.
I'm Mike Miller.
And I am Douche Master McGee Facebones.
Yes.
Excellent.
Somebody make an acronym of that.
Now, we had somebody at home ask what this is exactly, and honestly, this is pretty much just us getting together, and there's a third person you cannot see, he refuses to be seen, and we discuss said topics.
Basically a weird and geeky discussion
Of stuff.
podcast.
Of stuff, yeah. At this point, I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff that, like, today we're probably going to deviate away from. Excuse the nonsense of that plugging in, but I just want to start off by saying that am I the only one at the table who really hates the fucking town of Buffalo and feels that it should just be firebombed?
Well, Buffalo's a dying city, and there's not really anything there.
Yeah, no, it is. It is a shit show and a half. But I used to think that it was just a bunch of idiots somehow formed a town and still live there. Mm-hmm. But now I'm really thoroughly convinced that it's not that they're idiots. They just don't care.
Historical?
Like, there's nothing there that they just don't care. There's nothing. Okay.
So, Detroit, New York?
Yeah, it's essentially like Detroit if Flint, Michigan had migrated. Like, it's the lesser of the two, for sure. Like, Flint definitely had their water issue, but, like, Buffalo just has the humans there just don't care about anything. So let me get into this rant real quick. I'm just going to go off the cuff for a minute here, and then we can get into what we're going to talk about today. So what?
No, just go ahead.
Just no, keep hand signaling me. I don't know what.
We're getting comments live.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yep, and this is the unedited version. You
Yeah,
can
that's
always
New
see
York
the
for
edited
you.
version
Thank you.
on, where is it? The Fine Game of Nil Facebook?
The Fine Game of Nil Facebook. It's facebook.com/ the offline enigma. And then also, if there's anything further, then, check it out there. So anyways,
Eat a dick.
all right, so back to Buffalo and why I feel like this city should be firebombed. Okay, and I outright wholeheartedly feel this city should be firebombed. Long ago, in a different podcast, in a time before time, there was an experience I had there where they couldn't even get a root beer float correct, and they tried to sell me a Diet Coke float, which does not work.
It doesn't taste
Why
the
the
same.
hell?
We went through 4 different sodas before we wound up at Diet Coke because they didn't have 4 different sodas to offer me. They just offered them, and they didn't exist. So, anyways, that's one story. I'll save that for another time, or you can check out the old podcast, but you can't because it's not up anymore. But anyways,
Good job.
I went to go to a Cannibal Corpse show. Okay, and for the people that don't know Cannibal Corpse, they're a band that started off in 1988, essentially. So they've been around for almost 30 years, and they've been doing death metal ever since, right? And they are just dads now. They are dads.
Are they
And
looking back on it and be like, we might not have put out the best example for our offspring?
I don't know, but like, let me tell you, the metal scene, I love that crowd. And having experienced music from different genres and different crowds and stuff, the metal scene has the nicest people you will ever meet.
Oh, yeah.
talk to any random stranger, or they're going to talk to you, and it might not be something you want to exactly talk about, but it's nicer than some kid spin kicking you in the back of the head. Which happens a lot of the hardcore shows.
A far less judgy group. A far less judgy group than anything else.
I do have to make a comment about that. I think that's just New York. Like, all of New York.
Well, if you go down south...
Wait. All of New York is okay with, like, what?
No. All of New York is douchebag, judgy people that nobody really likes. And, no, let me tell you about my experience when I went on vacation to the wonderful land of San Diego. I went in there, into the city, because it's closed off, obviously, and just covered. No sunlight. No, it's beautiful there.
It's a biodome.
No, everybody was freaking amazing. Like, I could talk to anybody. I had some older woman, like grandma age, and she was behind me. We were crossing a crosswalk. She's like, "Oh my God, I love your hair." And I turned around. I'm like, "Thank you." And she goes, "Oh, you look like Marilyn Manson, but pretty." And most old ladies, when they look at me here, they're just like, "Oh shit, can't talk to her. Like, don't look at her." But
I'm gonna cross the other side of the street.
Yeah, just like look down, keep going. We can't deal with this. And I also went into an art gallery with, like, the smallest picture was this big, like, what, 5 inches? Yeah, we're gonna say 5 inches oval. And the cheapest one was that size, was $5,000. And I'm just like, there's no fucking way I can afford anything in here. But I was able to talk to that woman like a regular person. And it was her husband that did the paintings, and they were, like, beautiful surrealism of, like, you know, a headless ballerina dancer, like, holding a bubble with a bunny in it kind of thing. Like, it was, but I mean, it was, like, oiled, like, just $28,000, like, kind of, like, gorgeous stuff. And I go, like, I can talk to her, and she's just a wonderful, magical person. And
literally magical too.
Literally.
She, like,
glowing.
She flew away on her magic carpet afterwards.
But like,
what a lady.
I've gone into art galleries here. The one that's actually across the street from the shop. That was there, and she made little, like, paper mache dolls and stuff. But, like, they look really, really good. And I went in there. I'm just like, oh God, like, I want to buy the Cheshire Cat one. It was adorable because she did all these scenes that she made for this book, for the Alice in Wonderland, and I walk in there and I had like $300 in my pocket. Like, I was expecting to spend some money there, which apparently wasn't what she had in mind.
Oh.
And I'm looking at stuff and she's just blatantly ignoring me and just kind of going around and, like, doing her own thing. And I try to talk to her. I want to, speak to her because she's the one that makes the stuff and,
She's the artist.
Yeah, like, just want to get in her head, get conversation and whatnot. And she is just like, yeah, you can't afford anything here. You should probably leave. And I'm just like, well, I'm going to take this $300 I have here and walk on out, bitch. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's one of those things, like, that's in upstate New York, in this area. If you're not a WASP, a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, or have money,
or an actual wasp.
Yes.
Or an actual one.
You can't get anywhere in life, or nobody wants you to get anywhere, or they just don't want to associate with you. Mm-hmm. And when I went down to California, I was able to talk to anybody, whether they had money, I wasn't scared of homeless people there. I didn't have a fear of getting shanked. No, seriously. Listen, up here, nobody wants to be homeless because we have winter. Winter is cold. You die. Mm-hmm. Nobody's happy. And with the VA right there, and just, I don't know if you guys understand how the VA works. It doesn't. Yes. But it's one of those things, like, thank you.
Thank you.
It's one of those things that's like, people who aren't 100% crazy, they're still sent there because they were part of the military and stuff, and they're just like, oh, they need help getting back on their feet, trying to get things going, and they are roomed next to the guy that's screaming night and day. Who wants to be in there? Nobody wants to be in there with that guy, so they choose to, like, not be on their antidepressants or whatever and choose to, like, be homeless and deal with their PTSD. I've had them come into the store before and just, like, not be okay. And, you know, just they would rather be homeless because they have less stress that way than they do with the psychotic people that aren't getting the proper treatment there at the VA. Ugh. And, well, I'm just saying, like, you know, the homeless people up here are generally crazy or, like... They're not, I mean, yes, you have down on your luck stuff, but I mean, like, they go to shelter. People can go get help, but the VA people, for some reason, they can't get more help because the VA is it and it fucking sucks. So when they leave there, they're crazy because they don't have their meds and they don't want to go anywhere else, and I don't blame them. So in New York, whenever I see a homeless person, I'm like, let's cross the street because I'm probably going to get shanked because nobody wants to be homeless in New York, especially in the winter. In California, in Southern California, there's the chosen homeless. Hippies go there to sleep in the park. Mm-hmm. Like, it's okay. It's like, I didn't feel scared walking by a homeless person because they're just like, look, fucking under the stars. I love the sky. We're going to sleep on a thing. Like, this is my pile of stuff. And it's just... They're relaxed out there. And I mean, yeah, I did see with a few crazies that are talking to themselves and itching their heads way too much kind of thing, but it's I wasn't like, we need to go. Right. There was only one time the entire week I was there, but that was also like 4 o'clock in the morning, and you could clearly see like Tent City. But it was one of those things that, like, it looked like a bad section, so obviously, yeah, don't go there. But I mean, like, even in Balboa Park, there's homeless people there. It's a huge park in the middle of the city. It's great. It's gorgeous. But again, I was not frightened of homeless people.
Oh, nightlife in Portland, Oregon, also on the West Coast, very relaxed.
Yeah.
Very relaxed.
But I mean, like, on the East Coast over here, especially up north, and with the god-awful humidity that we have on the East Coast for some crazy reason, like, West Coast doesn't have that humidity. So when it's, you know, like, I went there when they were having a 110-degree heat wave, and everybody's like, don't go that week. And I'm like, got the tickets, screw it, I'm going. It was gorgeous. I was totally okay. Everyone's like, oh, it's 110, and I'm like... I can sweat and it goes away. Like it doesn't stay on me. I don't smell like a foot. I know. Sweat does what it's supposed to do.
Yes, there it goes.
But like
the wind wants my moisture.
Thank you, wind.
But it's my septum ring's tiny. It's one of those things that is just. I don't know. I feel that just like the people here are just much more harsh, brass. Crass.
I think they're just overly taxed and just take it out on everybody.
Well, just if you don't fit into their cube, you're a dick, and you're a degenerate. So obviously you must do drugs, and you are a burden to society.
I really should have brought out my Italian side and went all Guido.
Guido Anchovy.
Yeah, Guido like I'm talking about okay, that show that had the bad example of Italians, Jersey Shore. There we go.
Oh Jesus. That's that. We'll save that rant for a different episode of the Fine Game of Nil here.
Yeah.
So, anyways, kind of circle back to where I was starting off.
Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. Your tangent was
legitimate this time.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was definitely, it was quite the rant, but I have to say that, like, going to Buffalo, again, it's just, I've come to discover that they just don't care about anything. That's the issue, is that they just don't care. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we show up there, and it's Cannibal Corpse, you know, everybody's super stoked about it, and then there's a bunch of other bands that I've never heard of before, and they've got, it's the town ballroom, which I've never been to. So this was an experience altogether all new to me. I'm like, new venue, new bands, all right, sweet. So we go in there, and like I'm ordering a beer, and we go in there, and we start watching the show, and the things that started to irk me started just appearing, and I'm just like, So, like, to kind of touch on these things, I made sure to take notes on this.
Oh.
Yeah, because I didn't want to... There was a lot that happened that was just like, I don't understand why you exist.
We will eventually be getting to the moon, I promise.
Yeah, we will
schlafen.
Get to the moon. So, the first thing that happens, before we even get into the venue, right, we're having all this trouble with traffic, and, like, we're just like, okay, let's park here in this parking lot. And we pull in, and it's one of those ones you would see in Rochester, where it's like, you know, a big open space and a couple buildings. It's on a corner. There's other cars there. I'm looking at looking at Greg, my buddy that I'm with. And I'm like, dude, I don't think that we're going to find a parking spot in here. It looks full. And he's like, no, it's fine. We got this. So he pulls in, and they start, like, waving us on into this alleyway, like, apparently in between the buildings, and then have us park behind the whole place.
Was it well lit at least?
No, it wasn't. It was just, like, really dark and just some random guy, like, waving us on. And as we come through this alleyway that's not even, like, plowed in the least, we turn left into it, and then there's another car coming right at us while this guy's like waving us on to go ahead and take a just park here. And
Yeah.
the car's coming at us. And the car doesn't even give a fuck that we're turning. He's just like, fuck you. Like, I'm cutting through, and there's nothing you can do about it. So we park the car, and like we're shuffling around real quick, and the guy comes up to the window, and he's like, all right, that'll be $20, and we're like, what? Like, well, why? $20? You just shoveled us into an alleyway that doesn't even have lights on. What the fuck are you paying $20 for? So we pay the $20. We get out of the car. We walk down, and we're walking down Main Street, and they're in big bright letters and a marquee that was like lit up by God himself. Like, and it's got all these sweet designs, and it's shuffling through. It's like event parking, $5, and we're like, fuck you. Fuck you. So Greg looks me in the eyes like he's about to propose to me, and he's just like, I think I'm going to go back. I think I'm going to go back and get the car. I'm like, we're no more than 20 feet away from the car at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it literally, if we had looked left down the road when we pulled into this fucking place, we would have seen it. I'm like, how do you just, like, justify that you're charging $20 for parking when somebody else with a light-up fucking sign is doing $5 parking?
Was the $5
Indoors.
parking full?
It was indoors. It was light-up sign. I don't know if it was full because we never checked. We were just like, fuck it. You know what? Whatever.
We parked.
What else are we going to do on a Friday night? You know what I mean? Like, let's just drop a bunch of money. So we're on the side of Buffalo I've never seen before because it actually was, like, lit up. There was trolleys. It looked like a metropolitan kind of city.
A
I'm
healthy
like,
city?
yeah. I'm like, wow, this is interesting. And there's a guy standing on the corner that's wearing a hoodie that says "Stop Police Corruption." And I'm like, yeah, you're really serving a purpose right now. Like, you're doing good. Good job. And then we, the night goes on, and like I said, we get in there. And as we're hanging out, like people are being nice. We're shooting the shit with these people, and then as the show goes on, like there's these two young ladies that are behind me, and one of them taps me on the shoulder and goes, "Hey, would you mind if I just like propped myself up on top of you so I can see?" And I'm like, she's like no more than 4 foot high.
Okay, so it's legitimate.
Yeah, and I'm like, how about you just stand in front of me like everybody else, right?
Like a normal person.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm like, Greg, don't be an ass. Let these people stand in front of us. They stood in front of us for all of 5 minutes and then disappeared. I'm like, oh, what are you doing here? They must have been like 16-year-old girls that their dad had brought them to the show because that's what they looked like, was just like they didn't belong. Like more so than I didn't belong.
Yeah, and it would be an awkward situation having them touch you.
Well,
Yeah. And I'm like,
I do have to go on and say, like, when my cousin comes to the area and the family goes to his shows, we look like, well, I fit in and so do a few of my friends, but like my entire family's there. Like my grandmother's there, she's 70. My grandfather's there, he's 70. My aunt is there, which is the mother of my cousin, obviously, and like she's in a wheelchair. Just my mom, my dad, like.
I just started thinking of Metalocalypse for some odd reason.
Well, just picture normal parents at a show, and like and they're just like, yeah, we're gonna sit out in the audience here, and we're gonna watch the show. And me and my friends, we all go around to different areas to try to get to the best spot. We got those awesome little wrist tags that are just like, well, you can only go to X, Y, and Z, which they're really weird. They're like, no, you can't go backstage, but once you're backstage, you're allowed to stay there and go wherever you want.
Right.
Which is weird.
So you gotta sneak in somehow.
No, Braun has to come and like get us and go, they're with me. But even if they see me later, I can't go back in unless he's there escorting me.
Okay.
Which is
So you're basically plus ones.
Yeah. But I literally ran into Rob Zombie that way because his dressing room was right next to my cousin's dressing room, and he was wearing platforms. And it was just like, poof, and I'm like, oh my god, there's like the center of your chest. You're incredibly tall. But yeah, just seeing like out of place people, I totally get that because, like, I'm sure if Braun had kids and they happened to come to New York State to visit the family, yeah, we would all be there, and we have like a little tiny family reunion in the dressing room. It's and then we go watch the show. Like, yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, like, in that scene that nobody really cares, you know what I mean? Like, anybody can go see these guys, no matter what. So, I mean, like, long story short, we wound up just, like, that was, like, one thing that really just got me going. I'm like, why? But then there was another girl with, like, the backwards hat, you know what I mean? Like, flat brim hat. And she's just cutting through the crowd. Now, we're in the second tier of this, and there's plenty of space behind me. Like, we're 3 people deep. She's cutting through rows 2 and 3, essentially, of people where there's nobody behind me, but you still feel this need to, like, cut through the crowd and make your presence known that you're here, and I'm walking through, and, like, you're also 4 foot, and I don't know why you're here. But anyways,
Have you ever just wanted to, like, vomit rage on someone? Just go, you're pissing me off.
Yeah, that's why I started a podcast again, was so that I could just vomit rage in these kind of situations. Because when we left, Greg had this wild urge to have Taco Bell, and I don't understand why he had this wild urge for Taco Bell, but I kind of do, because, like, it started becoming very apparent of what his intentions were of bringing me out to the show, which was essentially to do everything that his girlfriend wouldn't normally let him do, but also have company with him to do so.
Aw.
So one of those things was getting T-Bell, and then I realized Buffalo doesn't have any fucking lines on their roads. They have a massive turnabout with a giant obelisk that makes you feel like you're in Washington, D.C., like the monument there. Mm-hmm. But the giant turnabout has no lines. There's nothing governing where people are driving in this.
That's just like France.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely absurd, though, because you're in the middle of, like, you're just doing, like, what do I do? What do I do? You got cars coming in. You got people, like, driving all over the place.
You just
like,
go.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck it. Like, you'll figure it out. Like,
and see, I would be okay with that. Not in New York, because in New York, nobody lets you in, and we're just driving around like, fuck you, because, you know, you want to get in, but we're not going to let anybody do it. But again, like any other state, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, go ahead," and we're just asshole people. Like the northeastern New England area, just like this is how we drive. Middle fingers all the time. Nobody cares. No fucks given. I'm the most important person. And actually, like, I got pissed at a person from Canada once. Like,
For
I think
driving.
we all have. I think if you haven't lived your life in New
Stop
York,
driving considerately.
if you haven't yelled at someone
no,
with
I almost got in an accident because they were being a douche nozzle.
well, I was going to say, if you haven't yelled at somebody with Ontario plates on your car at least once living in New York, in especially this area, then I don't know, you're not from this area, because that's what we do. Like,
Go
we just
back
see
up
Ontario.
north, asshole.
Yeah, like, what are you doing in our state? Get out of our state/country, because, you know, New York's also.
We don't care
Canada-
about your clean roads.
We don't care about your
Providences. urban
providences.
area.
Touche.
But anyways, so yeah, Greg gets this wild urge for Taco Bell, and we're like, oh man, we're low on gas. The gas light's on. We don't know where the fuck we are. And Greg's got his GPS going. And we wind up in some fucking ghetto looking for a T-Bell. So we wind up, after getting out of that turnabout, thank God, like, you know, we just finally made it. We made it out, right? And then we make it to this Taco Bell.
Harold and Kumar
and,
moment.
and it was like this, the lights, the sky opened up and the lights shone down. I'm like, oh, Buffalo's not so bad after all, because the gas station is right across from the T-Bell. Like, we're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's midnight. I'm tired. I saw a couple cool bands. Like, I'm a little drunk, whatever. You know what I mean? So, like, we pull into this gas station, and I'm looking at it, and we're parked in front of the sign that tells you the price and their hours, which is open 24 hours, right? Lights are on.
Yeah.
This place does not look closed. Mm-hmm. Greg starts pumping gas, and all of a sudden, I hear this voice, and she goes, "Is it pumping gas for you?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's pumping fine." She's like, "It shouldn't be, we're closed." And Greg's like, What? Yeah, she's like, we closed down a while ago. And like, we're like, oh, okay. Like, we're gonna, I guess we're done now. We got like 3/4 of a tank of gas. We're not sure if we actually paid for it or not, because they were closed, even though they're open 24 hours. Don't understand that. So then we're like, all right, well, what the fuck just happened there? So then we drove over to the T-Bell, and Greg pulls into the drive-thru, and the lights are on, right? Nothing looks closed. And he starts going, you know, hello? You know, nobody's answering the drive-thru. Hello? Like, nothing's going on. We pull through the drive-thru because we've then realized that nobody gives a fuck. The lady's in there just texting and just doesn't care. She doesn't care that she's not, like, taking people's orders. Fuck them. Like, you're in the middle of downtown Buffalo. Fuck them. Who's going to get a taco at
That
midnight?
is horrible.
They probably, because Buffalo has Mighty Taco. Taco Bell must be
Yes.
so used to just not taking people's orders that they don't understand that they are not closed yet. Like, you know
would
what?
think they would dissolve the drive-through if they're not taking orders that often.
I'm pretty sure it was just like a stand-in Taco Bell for like a Mighty Taco that's to go there eventually. So people get used to like pulling in there for tacos that like Mighty Taco's just going to swap the sign out one day. So then we call another Taco Bell to ensure that they're open. Drive out there, get the taco, and Greg wasn't satisfied with it. It wasn't that good. It was a the quesalupa. I don't know if you've tried it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's not anything special. It's not. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the time and effort. Maybe for him it was, not for me. I was over it at this point. I'm just like, get me the fuck out of this town before I destroy everything around me. So that's my little Buffalo rant. I'm glad I got that off my chest. There's probably more to it, but I'm gonna bypass all that. So
All right.
let's move on to today's subject, which Aaliyah sounds like she did the most research on it. I just proposed the idea. Thanks to another submission from work, we came up with this idea. So, Aaliyah, do you want to give us a heads up?
The moon. It is in the sky. Oh, yes.
Breaking news. The moon is in the sky. I just want to let everyone know.
So, with the stars, do they have their own orbiting planets?
Well, the moon, the moon is
Never mind, we were
satellite.
talking about the moon.
Thank you to our audience that is now present.
the two said
The
people.
satellite celestial body that orbits our Earth.
Yeah, no, like, it affects the tides and all that stuff, and there's always, like, all these arguments of, how was the moon made? Why do we only see one side of the moon? And burbity burp, and is the moon hollow? Is it a zombie moon base of lizards or aliens or something?
Do Nazis occupy a crater hidden away from direct view of the Earth, waiting to rain down iron hell upon us one day in
Yes.
revenge? Yay! I mean, no.
Yeah, but and then like I was showing you guys earlier, apparently on the quote unquote dark side of the moon, there's like weird staticky
Not
stuff.
to be confused with Transformers, Dark of the Moon.
Yes.
I just want to make that very clear.
Unicron,
Don't-
Unicron has nothing to do with this.
Don't confuse the dark side of the moon that Aaliyah's talking about with the horrible Michael Bay Transformers movie.
Or Pink Floyd.
Or Pink Floyd. Don't buy the album just based on our podcast. We know that that's what most people do is take our recommendations, but I think that you're better off just hearing her out.
We don't
So-
want to sway trends just
Oh,
yet.
Yeah.
quick side note. Neil deGrasse Tyson's nephew is actually a rapper who is intelligent and he raps beautifully. And I'm just like, I'm not into that stuff, but I actually listen to him and I'm like,
I could get into this.
well, I'm just like, I am impressed.
So Neil deGrasse Tyson's nephew is
Yeah.
a rapper, an intelligent rapper.
Yeah, and he's like getting his doctorate.
Holy crap!
Yeah, and he just like, fuck it, I want to go rap. And I'm like, shut up,
Make
Nick.
his name actual Dr. Dre.
Well, his last name is still Tyson. I can't recall his first name, but yeah, anyways, side note. But yeah, the moon. So what do you guys want to discuss about
Okay.
that? Like that it's hollow, that why
Is it or is it not made of cheese?
it is rock.
Oh,
No, there's apparently like several different theories of stuff. Like the reason why we only see the one side of the moon is because it has like an iron core that's off balance, and the magnetic pulls of the electromagnetic sphere that's around the Earth, and it moves
right.
things around.
More iron focused on one side of the moon would keep it basically. Oh, right there. Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see that finger.
But then there's also the theory that it's hollow, and because apparently it rang like a bell when
missiles were fired at it.
Yes.
Now, okay, so that's the thing is like what guy at the work said, Brian, we'll call him for just to protect everyone's identities.
Moon drilling expedition.
Brian's a nice common name. Obviously, it's not specific to anyone. Brian,
go on.
if you're listening.
That's BS.
So what this one is that apparently NASA fired rockets at the moon.
Why?
Because what else are you gonna do with like? All right. So you're
It's not like you're going to be killing life.
Let's talk about the fact that all right, you come home and you go down to your basement and you're like, oh, I have this stockpile of rockets. What am I going to do with it? I can't fire it at another country because the UN might get upset. Well, I might as well fire it at a celestial body that doesn't give a fuck. The moon's not going to come down and sue us for firing missiles at it. It's just going to blow chunks off, and then the comet might kill us before the moon does. You know, like whatever.
And then we're gonna lose the tide pool or all that fun stuff, and then the world will delve into chaos.
Real quick, there was
Although
a
it's not
guy
the bigger
killed
cost
by
of
a
fuel.
meteorite. Let's just touching base on that. What if that meteorite was created by the fact that we fired a rocket at the moon, and that was just like it spun around the moon for a second, and then hurled off, and just like that one
gets
guy.
a slingshot from the orbit.
Yeah, and
orbiting
then
the planet. Yep.
it killed that guy. What happens if that was a direct effect of the rockets being fired at
Yes.
the moon?
What if we killed our own future president?
What are
this
we
way?
doing with our lives where we're not firing more missiles at the moon? I mean, like, obviously we have a vendetta to settle with this damn thing.
Why don't we just have catapults on the moon to directly kill people instead of doing like the espionage stuff? Just have a dude up there just going whoosh, or just have like a slingshot.
Yeah,
Okay.
just basically slingshot dense materials back at the Earth, like highly dense, so it get through the atmosphere and still cause destruction.
Oh yes, that is the other thing, is that the moon is slightly less dense than the Earth.
So, wow, okay.
I did just other shit I looked
So
at.
then when
Oh, we got a heart.
So either way, real quick, the thought just popped in my head. Speaking of catapults on the moon, would a trebuchet launch something into orbit? Like, would a trebuchet literally put an object into orbit around the moon because of how it works, or would a catapult, like, would it just
I think
fire
we're
off
gonna
into
have
space?
to like mathematically figure it out how to put it into orbit around the Earth, kind of thing. And once that happens, it's going to. I don't know. And then there's also the calculations of trying to avoid all of the other satellites that we have, because we just have a shit ton just going pew all over the place. But having to mathematically figure out how to, just arm throw it into space and then wrap it around magically at perfect time said X.
Ooh, just to achieve escape velocity with potential kinetic energy that has nothing to do with any
then
type of
yeah.
electrical technology, you're gonna have to have the large weight, which you're gonna have to have something probably highly dense, just counterweighting. What are you moving this around?
Oh, they can't see you, and I'm trying to.
No,
help.
that is Mike's face, by the way.
yeah.
He's
basically,
Mike.
I look just like this anyway. As you can see, you're not going to see my mouth either way.
Believe it or not, we have to have mics in front of our faces so that you, like the audience that listens to this at a later date, will actually be able to hear us. Because the further we move away from our mics, the less you can hear us.
That's very true.
It is very true.
So I need it like right up in my face.
Here's Santa Claus.
Why? Thank you.
get up in that mic. Get up in
Yeah.
that mic.
This is what I do in my off time. You know, when I'm not sending presents to all you good girls and boys out there. Yeah, see, my beard doesn't stay white all year. It goes with the seasons, baby. Goes with the seasons.
So anyways, all right, so let's get back on topic here. Anyways, yeah, so the moon, we're firing
Nope.
missiles at it. It
Not.
is. You don't think it's Howl?
What?
do you-
No,
stop
so you're
reading
not
theirs.
my Santa. I'm trying to talk to our listeners.
Right,
He's
we
from
don't-
France, I believe.
We don't need to worry about the fact of what Santa Claus is. But anyways, is the moon hollow or not? I think that it's very plausible that yes, the moon could be hollow.
Okay.
I do think that. Do I have any sort of scientific basis on it? No. Other than the fact that there's potential that aliens could have existed there, and that's why we don't go back.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Well,
they live inside the moon.
It was hidden as a celestial body orbiting our planet.
It's
affecting our language and perceptions of the world for many generations.
I did find stuff that when. Okay.
Here we go.
Yep. Science.
Science time.
Shut it. Just let me science it out. No, I did my research so I don't sound like a turd just trying to figure shit out. But apparently in zero gravity, if you have water with like a little dirt and like air and shit in it. If you spin it, what happens is actually all of the air goes into the center of it, and the dirt and stuff comes around to the outside. So that's one of the reasons why they think that it's hollow on the inside, because when it was all molten and liquidy and whatnot, while it was spinning at such force, the air went to the inside. That's been proven with water, and the crust, or whatever you want to call it, all went to the outside.
And it's all by density. I could see why.
Yeah, and you know, it's much more or less dense, but it's also one of those things that they think that like the more metallic side is just, you know, the side that we see, and that's why it's like constantly just going around, and we always see the same side of the moon.
So, but technically, if we were to take consecutively more dense like liquid substances, we would actually see the most dense on the outside and the least dense on the inside.
Yes.
At some point, if we kept it in
zero gravity, if it
zero
was
gravity,
spinning.
elliptical motion, yes.
But I mean, this is all just from the internet, so whatever's true or not, I don't know. I'm just relaying information.
I'm still baffled at the fact that the moon is not spinning. That can't be real. That has to be, the moon has to be spinning.
Yeah, the dark side of the moon is
how
specifically the one side.
How we rotate on an axis. You're telling me the moon doesn't rotate on an axis? It just rotates around us?
It rotates at that specific... It's rotating at like the same kind of thing of that we always see the same side, because if it was staying stationary and it went around us, we would still be seeing different sides of the moon, even if it didn't spin, because it is going around us.
Right.
Yeah, because eventually it works its way between us and the sun.
Yeah.
It's just the same side faces us, and they think that is because of the electromagnetic pull of the off-center iron whatevers, and that's why it keeps facing us, because of the gravity of the Earth, and then as it spins, it's just spinning at the same rate
And it would
instead
still
of staying
keep within
stationary.
how we see lunar phases of the moon, also affecting our sea levels.
So then,
Yeah.
if the moon is actually hollow, let's say theoretically it is, right?
It's hiding a Nazi starbase.
If it is struck,
That's one of the theories.
if it is struck by a large enough object, like a meteor or whatever it is, would the moon, in theory, implode?
I don't see why it couldn't, but I mean, if something hits it hard enough anyways, they could just move it out of orbit entirely.
But that would basically mean that something would have to either want to rush into it or rush out of it.
I know a
Once
lot
it's
of things that want
reached.
to rush in and out of me.
Yes.
Mostly
It's not ideas.
things.
I want to finish that statement.
You've never had something that wanted to just rush in and out of you? I mean, like...
Not
Yeah, but I'm a
particularly
girl.
thinky
You're
thoughts.
at a gas station bathroom and you're just like, oh, something's gonna rush in and out of me here real quick. I just got that urge.
Shouldn't have had that egg
Like, you
salad.
sit on the toilet and a lamprey comes up your anus?
Why would the lamprey be in a toilet in a gas station?
Reminds me
Why
of that
are you in a
X-Files
lamp?
episode.
Why are you in a lamp?
I mean,
Because I'm a genie, obviously. I mean,
you could be going on tons of different adventures with your lamprey friend, and he just needed fresh water, and you forgot he was there, or just you put him in there for a second and just ran to the car to go get something, and then another person went to go to the bathroom, didn't see the lamprey, and then he's got like that claw sucker mark on his butt, and it just looks terrifying.
it's Aquaman in his later years with his failed experiment of a companion, a lamprey. He's just like hanging out. He's like, oh, I gotta stop into this gas station. Like, and he takes his lamprey in with him, and he just leaves him behind by accident. He's like, he didn't hear him. Like, he had to like stay behind for a second. Like, oh, Jim, I gotta go use the bathroom. You know,
I don't even know what's going on.
That's okay.
So yeah, like Aquaman's failed attempt at a superhero buddy. That's why the lamprey's in the toilet, because Aquaman.
I
put him
will
there.
accept that theory.
Hey, if Poseidon controls the oceans and water elements, could Poseidon technically control toilet water as well?
Is
Could-
toilet
like-
water considered an ocean?
I assume that it was part of the ocean at one point. Isn't
He
it
has
all
the
water
power to
essentially?
make it swirl in the opposite direction.
That depends on what side of the hemisphere you're on.
Yes.
That whole talk. No.
Exactly.
All right, so you have Poseidon's trident, and you just want to like evacuate the lamprey out of the toilet, but you don't want to touch it. So could you, in theory, cause that toilet to erupt water using Poseidon's trident, or does it only work on like controlling currents?
No, I'm pretty sure any source of water, since it's all like most, if not all, waterways are connected in some way to other waterways on Earth. There are some landlocked, but I would say 97% of the water on Earth is actually connected in one way or another.
Well, yeah, everything
flows.
flows to the ocean.
Yes.
Yeah, there is actually like a sign somewhere in the middle of the United States where it says water on this side flows to the Atlantic Ocean and water on this side flows to the Pacific Ocean.
So how does that help? Where were you going with that as far as toilet?
The toilet water
evacuating
should also be
lamprey?
as affected as anything in the ocean or any other waterway. So yes, you could explode it out, but you might get lamprey babies all over the place.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
why would you not want
Fecal
to
matter.
suck it in? Just
Why-
go, be a gone, lamprey, and then just go poof, and it just like puts a jolt of water force energy so forceful it just rocketed through the sewer system all the way out to the ocean.
What happens if the lamprey just gets stuck in the sewer system though and creates a whole new type of lamprey that
Then
is
you-
sewer based? That
Then
just
you
like,
That's
then
not
you
my
fight
problem.
it with loads and loads of hydrogen peroxide.
oh wow, that's horrifying.
It might kill the relative ecosystem, but hey, that lamprey will be dead.
Here's another question to bring this full circle. Does
Maybe it
Poseidon's
won't work, but I'd
trident
it.
actually work off of like mystical powers of controlling the ocean or controlling the moon to control the ocean?
So it
Something to
depends
ask
if we're going to
Avatar: The
look
Last
at it, if
Airbender.
it's like just God theory of he's a god.
Well,
just whatever.
technically, he is a god. He's the god of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is he controlling, though? How is he controlling the ocean? The ocean itself physically, or is he controlling the moon to control the ocean? Because the moon controls the ocean,
God powers.
God powers.
which come from where? There's, in theory,
I'm going to say he
From
actually
within.
lives on the moon. Maybe he lives on the inside of the moon that has water in it, and because it's going to be less dense on the inside. So the outside's the land, the inside part is water, and then the very center is just hollow because reasons. And he lives in there, and he actually has this very high tech system where it's not like it's just his trident is more of just like a figurative scepter where he's just like. I like it. And hang on.
it's a
And
decorative piece.
it is, and just like it's not one of those things that you really use. I mean, it's like the royal family having the royal orb and the royal scepter. They don't really do anything. You just have them because they've been there. But he actually has this high tech computer system where he actually controls the tides, the way the water goes. He has the power over the hydrogen oxygen bonds like any other, and it's all done from the moon. Yeah.
So he's just controlling everything from the moon.
Yeah, he is actually the person on the moon, inside the moon, that makes the Earth go round.
So he's just a technologically advanced being having his way over
not an
the
alien.
waterways. But not an alien.
No.
No, definitely not an alien.
He was a being that originated from the first civilization here on Earth long before humans.
Okay.
That actually they bonded some of their own DNA through cloning and genetic modification processes and brought about our current race as it is today.
So the people of Atlantis.
Basically.
He started Atlantis, but only in the Pacific Ocean.
Right. It was his housing project. Like it was his like, I'm gonna like when he first settled here, he
The
was
last
like
time he went for beachfront property.
yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm going to start a condominium complex here, and then it sank into the ocean. And
Well, that went the way I didn't want to.
Well, I guess I'll go to the moon
I
now.
will now have power over the oceans and never let this happen again.
Well, I mean, that could totally be one thing, or it's just he never left the moon and he just has like projections of himself, and it's just like, oh, Hercules, Hera, ancient Greece. And what ends up happening is that this is a giant SimCity game.
Okay, got it.
Oh.
And
Which makes sense.
That explains
Yeah.
why SimCity is so good at replicating everyday happenings in a city area.
yes. And
This just in, we're all part of a game.
Oh,
kind of. And
Sorry,
I'm going
Gerard
to date
Butler.
myself here, but kind of like Reboot. And anyways, the whole thing on I can't even concentrate right now. You guys are ridiculous. No, the whole theory of just Atlantis was his first thing, and you just kind of like went and expanded, maybe like civilizations or something, and it was like, fuck it, it got out of control. Or aliens came down and
Ooh,
came down
actually,
and they were
damn.
just like, we gonna live here, bitch. And he was like, no. So he sank it, and then he just started new ones. Well, I mean, just like you've played those games where you have like several cities, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna be the trade master, and like you have those different shipping routes and stuff. I know you've all played those games.
yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
we
I
got more
love those
hearts?
games.
It does take-
I love the simulator games. They're
It's
the
a lot of
best.
micromanaging, but
And
yes, I
so-
like having power over the lives of others.
And that's
A little
just
intense there.
I mean,
no,
like having
I do
fun.
like God games. I do have to say, well, hang on. I love the game Black and White.
Oh, I love Black and White. Black and
Yeah.
White 2.
I haven't played Black and White
Oh.
2. Like, you would love it. It's one of those things where you have this creature and you tell it to do good things and bad things. And there is one that, like, every time your creature poops, you can just bitch slap the shit out of it to where it's, like, eternally constipated. That's one of
Yes.
the things you can do in the game. My favorite one was unlocking the sheep character to actually like made it like angry and murderous, and it kind of just looked like lamb chop from hell that got ran over by a truck.
Nice.
Like it was just
Makes me think of the movie Black Sheep about ravenous were-sheep that eat flesh of humans and can also turn them into other sheep that are
I
were-sheep.
must see this.
Yes, it's quite cool. It's called Black Sheep.
Oh, okay.
To bring up something real quick
Yeah.
that I thought of while I was looking over at the couch. We were watching something on Netflix, and this was also told to me by an outside source. To protect names, we'll call her Kaylee. Told me that the chupacabra was confirmed as an actually living creature.
Yes, they did recover a specimen.
Did they?
Well, I don't know. Okay. Chupacabra means goat sucker. Now, this thing doesn't look like it's gonna suck a goat.
That's what she said.
And it's one of those things that like it looks like a hairless dog that's had a really bad radiation accident.
And
That's what she said.
it was far too weak to
Rockabilly
actually
sound.
eat the flesh. So for sustenance, it drained and lapped up the blood from its victims.
And then, well,
And it had like sharp needle-like teeth.
Yeah, it's something along these lines.
but like I,
mean,
don't know of any critter that has needle-like teeth
Critter.
besides like to suck things up. It's one of
Yeah.
those things that like it injects venom, not like I'm gonna bite you and go, haha, I got straws for teeth. Fuck yeah. Like
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
You would wonder, unless it's like really gentle, turning over the body and lapping up the blood and just shaking out the
Well,
rest
it's like
of the blood.
vampire bats. They got like they make a hole and they suck it up and
As far as I know, there's not a single creature that actually legitimately sucks blood through their teeth. Like it
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
is just creating a puncture wound of some sort and then lapping up the blood or
Right.
ingesting the blood that
closest
way.
thing would be like a mosquito type that literally sucks through its proboscis.
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 boom,
Nice.
boom.
Yes.
Is it proboscis or proboscis?
It's proboscis. Yes. Me and
Son of
Leo,
a bitch.
We're right. You're wrong.
You outpronounced me.
We did it. It's kind of sad when I outpronounce you.
Yeah,
because
that's very sad.
That is where you should just give up on pronouncing that word for the
Well,
rest
it
of
looks
life.
like I'm done here.
Yeah, I mean, like
no
you should
magic
just,
tonight.
Next time somebody talks about a mosquito, I want that to ring in the back of your head, like you just like, oh, their thing. You know what I mean? I can't
They're
talk about
sucky
it.
titty
Like,
straw thing.
It's a
Yeah.
P word that I could no longer ever
I've been-
pronounce.
Don't actually suck. Like
because
make,
they have Pringles in their mouths.
Yes, yes.
Right.
No, it's one of those things that just because the blood pressure is so high in our bodies compared to them, they just like stick it in,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it goes poof, like all up in there, and then they fill their bellies and go.
So pretty much the only thing they're really doing is trying to slow it down just a little so they don't take too much of fat.
I really have no idea how their insides work.
All I know is that they also
They definitely work though.
they
Yeah.
they
And they
inject an
itch.
anticoagulant and
It's
an enzyme.
it itches and it sucks.
Yeah.
My brother's like horribly allergic. He got bit here, like on his eyebrow once, and his entire eye swelled shut.
Oh,
That's
shit.
horrifying.
It is, and I'm like, dude, it sucks to be allergic to mosquitoes. They're fucking everywhere.
Speaking about mosquitoes, apparently there are certain frequencies that you can emit from, like, say, a phone or another device that'll apparently
Suck the
repel.
blood out of people.
Oh yeah, no, they make those things for like rodents and other pests. You just like plug it in, you can't hear it, or you hear like a little click thing or something, and then they're just like, oh, magically gone, all bugs.
Show you.
Although I have seen it where it's good job.
Good job.
No, I like
You-
having people
I have a-
scientifically correcting us on here.
Oh, is somebody actually correcting us?
Yeah.
Oh, what was the correction?
Something about how it just kind of flows
Great.
in.
I'm glad that we got that corrected.
All right.
Thank God.
Thank you.
Anyways, I don't know what I was talking about.
Fact check. Oh.
I still need to add that in. All right. So, how do you spell proboscis? Proboscis. B-O-S-C-I-S. There we go. How
Is
to
it
pronounce?
P-R-O-B-A-S? Yes.
Is there?
Proboscis.
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 It's proboscis.
Proboscis.
Yeah. Huh. I guess we were.
Proboscis.
I guess we were all pronouncing it wrong.
Are you sure that's not like the British or Canadian version?
Did it sound that way?
Did it
I
say
don't
proboscis,
know.
eh?
Greek. Its origin is Greek for before, and proboskin is cause to feed. So
Before feeding?
means obtaining of food. That's what a proboscis is. It's a meaning to obtain food.
Well, I believe like butterflies have proboscis. Like they just curl
Yeah.
up and then it's like, and get the little nectar stuff. And
So you could call a grocery store a proboscis because it's a meaning of getting food. Or like if you're going somewhere to get food, you're on a proboscis.
is it a noun or a verb?
I think it was a noun because
Okay.
it's technically you could use it as a verb. I just did.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
on
like-
a yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
I can't grammar.
Wrong.
I have a sound for myself.
Good job.
Wrong.
So, anyways,
Before mosquitoes and
We're getting lots of love here.
proboscises.
Apparently.
Isn't it great?
I don't know. Like
I know you can't see it. You're not part of it. Nobody likes you.
that's fine. But I mean, like, let's bring it back. Bring it
To?
back to the fact that mosquitoes come from the moon because Poseidon just decided
To play Sim City
to play SimCity
on Earth.
I'm trying to recap all of this.
Yep. And then the
Way to fuck
white
with the human populace.
Anglo-Saxons, wasps from Mars, came down and went to land on.
Yes. The only interplanetary human groups were the wasps of both male and female, one from Venus and one from Mars.
No, stop talking.
Oh.
No. The beard is strong with you.
Yes. Why, thank you.
No, just, white people are from Mars and they're horrible people and that's why they came down here. And then they ruined completely Atlantis. And then it got wiped out because Poseidon was just like, wrong. And then just it got flooded and that's what happened to the dinosaurs.
So, what if the dinosaurs and mosquitoes were originally the founders of Atlantis?
Well, there is actually this theory that, like, the ancient Egyptian god Thoth, he does have a long protruding, like, beak thing, and they
Oh.
considered it to be more of, what is it, an ibis or something? But, I mean, hey, we could totally, like, proboscis it and just go with that.
Yeah, like it's just proboscis.
What was he the
Proboscis god.
of?
He's the god of proboscises.
Proboscis.
Proboscis.
I'm just wondering if that would
Proboscis?
translate
I-
into...
What is the plural for proboscis? Can something
Proboscis?
have multiple proboscises?
Proboscises?
or probosci?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, cactus and cacti?
Probosci.
I don't know. I know that my brother was trying to tell me that the plural for octopus is not octopi, but octopode.
That's.
Oh.
I feel like not
Sound like
right.
it'd be a group of them just getting together, an octopode.
They travel in herds.
Welcome to my octopode abode.
They do have the man-eating squid of the California Bay.
What?
That's a thing.
That's a thing?
Apparently.
Is that something you learned on your trip to Venice? Italy? France?
So it's large enough to eat a man down
YouTube.
and eat him. I'm totally gonna look up this man-eating squid now because I totally
Okay.
want to see this awesomeness.
You look that up.
Yeah, no, they eat people.
They eat people.
They eat people.
What? So we were on Chupacabra. That's where we started.
Okay,
with it.
Chupacabra.
Yeah.
Chupacabra.
And now that we've talked about the man-eating
Sucking
squid
them
and
goats.
recap the episode a little bit here, we'll get
I
back
want
on track.
somebody to draw a mind map of where we start and where we go and how we end up back there. Like,
Yeah.
I want to see what this looks like.
Oh,
Yes.
it's great listening back to this and editing it all down because it's just like one random thing after another, like where it starts
It's
at.
a bit like the Mario Kart Rainbow Road. We keep on falling the fuck off and getting back on.
I just want a visual representation of what we are discussing.
Oh, look at that. My middle finger's just extended in your direction. I wonder why that happened.
Stop flicking off our audience. Jesus.
Sorry, we're going to say fuck and also show our fuck.
Jesus Christ.
We don't expect anybody to keep up with us. We're just kind of running along and seeing exactly where we end up and trying to keep on topic, and it never happens, but that's the joy of the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
We like
And-
to try and at least go an hour.
You get the great glory of my beard.
Nobody.
Summer Santa.
Summer
Santa.
Hey, I got presents for people if they're willing to be good goers.
His penis be considered a summer sausage then? Summer Santa's summer sausage?
I wonder if Italian does have a version of summer sausage. Could that be me?
Are you waiting for a response? Like, I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, are we waiting for their response or ours?
Yeah, about that.
Think about your answer very, very closely.
I don't want to think about the answer or the question.
What is summer sausage in Italian?
Smack my head. Yes.
Mild sausage? I mean, like, I
It
feel
would be
like
a mild sausage.
I feel like most sausages, other than Polish sausage, are Italian by nature. Like it's like a law. It's like an ungoverned law. It's like a governed, ungoverned law that says that sausage must be Italian.
Not from Germany?
They don't exist. Like Germans are great. Don't get me wrong. They're good people.
Go on.
They did stuff.
Yep.
But
Such as
you know,
Einstein?
Einstein.
And?
He's a guy.
Yeah, he
did
is.
stuff.
And
he created the missile to fire at the moon, and it's all Einstein's fault. So therefore, we pissed off Poseidon, right? When we fired the missile at the moon.
E equals MC. Fuck you.
E equals MC. Fuck you.
Oh, and apparently, speaking of that, Neil deGrasse Tyson's rap name is MC Squared.
Oh, God damn it!
Oh dear Lord.
He said that, and I was like,
This show just took a turn for the worse.
yeah. But, my hero.
So, anyways,
Kielbasa is an Italian. Oh, that's very true. Isn't that Polish?
Yeah, it's like,
well, he said everything but Polish. Like,
well, were we talking about kielbasa?
we were talking about bratwurst at this point because you brought up Germany. You're like, well, what about Germany? And I'm like, well, they did a bunch of things. And
Yeah,
like,
they made frankfurters. There's knotwurst, bratwurst, Bauernwurst.
anything like wurst, I guess. Is wurst like just sausage in German?
Yeah,
Is that what that
it's
is?
Wurst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wurst.
Yeah, it's like a
Vest.
double V in there.
It's like the Wurst.
the vest.
This was the best sausage.
Bratwurst, yeah.
This is the best sausage I've ever had.
And
didn't
my
even come from my country.
favorite food is spatzel and schnitzel.
Spatula?
Spatzel?
Spatula?
Spatzel, that's it. Spatzel?
Spatzel and
Spatula?
schnitzel.
Spatzel?
Spatula?
Yep.
Schnitzel?
And schnitzel.
Schnitzel.
Und
Yep.
schnitzel. Ja.
Schnitzel.
Yep.
What is that?
Leverwurst.
Schnitzel?
Schnitzel.
That is pretty much like pork.
SCHNITZEL. Schnitzel.
Nailed it.
It is pretty much pork that is like hammered flat, breaded, and then like deep fried, and it is amazing. And then yes, one up. I also thoroughly enjoy the spatzel because it's pretty much like egg noodles, and it's just like German mac and cheese without the cheese and lots of butter.
Man, you know what? I have to say, like, I guess the American equivalent of that would be mac and cheese with hot dogs.
Yeah.
That actually, I don't hate that combination as much as I hate other things. There's a lot of things I hate, but that's not one of them.
One
Okay.
thing I
Mostly
definitely
the
don't hate
people-
is French toast.
At this table, I hate, but that's about it.
Okay.
Like in
Yay.
my large circle of things I hate, you guys pretty much encompass it. Like you take up a lot of room in it.
Lot of
Mostly
the
Mike.
hate. Let
Mike
the
takes
hate
up
flow through you.
shoot lightning out of my hands. Like what?
Yes.
Just waiting.
Are you waiting for what? What are you waiting for now?
I'm waiting for you guys to continue talking.
I'm guessing that episode 8 of the Star Wars franchise will teach me how much beard has to do with force proficiency on the light side.
You have a dark beard.
I have a very dark beard.
Very
Aw.
dark.
I'm going to have a
He
peppery
hates
beard.
everyone. I'm sorry.
And then somebody's talking to us in Russian.
Oh, that's good. Hey, you know what? Real quick.
I
all
don't know
right.
Russian.
We should probably bring this to a close on this one here. Russian dash cams. Oh,
The
man.
best thing in the
Oh
world.
my,
Oh my
I gotta look
God.
at more of those.
I love Russians purely for the fact that they are just the most batshit insane people. Like they were like what Buffalo aspires to be. They're just like
And I'm
they
sure
just
in
don't
perspective, they see us the same fucking way.
probably, but I mean, like they are just like drunk in the middle of the day, stumbling through 8 lanes of traffic while
I do not hate
horses
you.
fly over the heads of them.
You do realize that the stuff on YouTube, I'm just going to assume, is like the worst of the worst, and that's why it's there. Like, I'm pretty sure they don't have like the actual like average driver going derp 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 stop sign.
I am
Oh,
thoroughly
we're gonna
convinced.
go.
I'm thoroughly convinced that there is tanks driving across the roads at any given time. Like you're just going to the grocery store, and then all of a sudden, 8 military tanks are just fucking rolling over like
I'm
the
sure
highway.
they require you to get drunk before you get behind the wheel.
I think that you have to be because like
Mm-hmm.
they had to put in dash cams. Dash cams became such a thing because of the amount of people trying to get insurance claims for being hit by cars.
Well,
they
maybe
probably
it's
don't use
fraud.
gasoline. They actually run off of vodka.
Yeah, like for you to say that they it's not bad enough over there where it's like a mandatory almost to have a dash cam.
Well, yeah, isn't it for like insurance purposes?
Yes, because of the fact that people are jumping out in front of cars and getting insurance claims to like just get free money. That was a thing, and that's why they do this.
Maybe they just have they just are really good at insurance fraud, and the cars just happen to be a part of it.
How? I want to know the guy that started this whole trend of jumping in front of cars. Who he was sitting in his house and just going, "Man, I need a quick way to earn $20. Well, I guess I'll go play in traffic and get hit by a car." And he did it, and he won, and he did well at it. Like, that was his job. His career became getting hit by cars.
Could you imagine getting hit by a cop car in a crosswalk in a city?
That, I'm sure, happened to someone at some point.
But it's just like, are you going to lose that just because it's a cop, or are you just going to win so hard at that?
They do have the color issue on their side.
I
being
think
blue.
Oh my god. The color issue. I'm not even going to cut that out. I'm just going to leave that one in. I'm going to do
the color
minimal
issue that
editing.
they're wearing blue. It doesn't matter the color of their skin; it's their uniform.
You're the one that went there.
This way, just everyone. So everyone knows. Breaking news.
Color issues.
There's color issues apparently.
The cops are known as blue colors.
The blues.
Well, apparently
like
our
Crips,
straight up said screw you.
but Crips, but with state sanctioning.
If you get hit by a cop in a crosswalk, make sure everyone's watching. And it's thoroughly recorded.
Everybody.
How are you? All right. So
he said it happened to him.
answer that,
You should
to
have a
answer
dash
that
cam on
comment
your
real
chest.
quick. What are you gonna do before what are you gonna plan being hit by a cop car? And then if you're gonna yell at
Would
everyone,
you not?
"Hey everyone, come watch me get hit by this cop car. I need witnesses."
Or you just have you're pretending to I'm gonna do this really awesome stunt, and just you have somebody doing stupid bicycle tricks, and then just happen to barely see you in the background, and as you're walking, they see you get mowed over by a car, and you're just that's irrefutable evidence. I mean, we're totally not trying to see me getting hit by a car, but that's what happened, and we're just watching some guy just bust his nuts on a rail.
Could you imagine somebody just creates a Facebook event, right? And they just invite all their friends on Facebook, come watch me get hit by a cop car so I can win $20,000. I
don't think you win.
You do
I
win.
don't think you win.
You win.
There's not much of a win in this situation.
There's
unless you
winning.
get millions
There's winning
of
and
dollars.
losing.
If there's
definitely
7 figures, you might be winning.
Any court system will have a win-loss ratio. It's their kill-death ratios in the court system. Behind the judge's chambers, there is a scoreboard of wins and losses, and he is definitely chalking them up there. He's just win, 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 loss, win, win.
Win and loss for who, though?
Win for when he does the right thing and puts the bad person in jail.
But what if the bad person is the cop and he was just wanted to run people over?
Well, then good for him because he's thinning the herd. If you're
Should have just kept the GTA.
dumb enough to stand in the middle of the road to win an insurance claim, then that cop that mows you down is doing a civil justice and deserves every ounce of respect that he is given for it.
Moral of the story: if you're going to hit them, you might as well finish them off.
Yeah, which is true. It's humane. It's a humane thing to do to shoot someone in the head after you've run
Yes.
them over with your car.
Or if you have enough time, instead of pressing your brake or trying to turn out of the way, accelerate. Accelerate.
Have
Physics.
a car purpose instead of a car accident?
Yes. It's well, we're not going to stop anyway, and I don't think you want to go to the hospital and have all those bills, so we're just going to go straight to the funeral.
Cops just start carrying around coffins in the back seats of their cars so they can just
You're just driving around hearses the whole
we'll
time.
save you the effort. We'll just put you in there.
But it can just end up being one of those things that they just go over you so many times that they just instead of coffins, they have thin
They're all
lined
trained
envelopes.
coroners, too. They're all trained coroners, and it's a one-stop death shop.
Challenge accepted.
And they just kind of scrape you up and put you in an envelope, and they have a filing system in the back of their hearse.
What is this?
For a
something
premium, we'll shrink your head.
It's like something out of Beetlejuice now. We're just getting into Beetlejuice theory
Oh
here.
my god, did you see the new movie that's coming out about Beetlejuice?
I've heard only things, but I have not seen any.
I've only seen poorly photoshopped titles.
Oh.
I haven't seen anything about it. So
We lost all our friends. 4 friends are back. Never mind.
Pretty sure it's a connection issue.
Oh, boo.
We're sorry.
Somebody should comment if we have a connection issue.
Oh, see, they carry duffel bags.
Who carries duffel bags?
They
Is
carry-
that-
The
They do.
police officers.
So the police
Now, do they
officers-
part you out,
So
or
apparently they just have duffel bags of people. They fold them up.
oh, like
they
8 heads in
make
a
them
bag?
fit- No,
8
just
heads in a duffel bag.
Well, maybe, but it could just be one of those things that's how they're going to categorize people. It's like, dude, this one was a total douchebag. This one I actually feel a little bit bad about because he was old. He just really couldn't move
We really
that
don't
fast.
need the rest of the body to identify this one.
Yeah.
So, like, you're
Make
telling
it
me
easier.
So the
They
cop,
said leg.
The cop hits someone, and then he immediately pulls out not only a duffel bag, but probably a set of tools to carve up the body. Like he says, in the middle of the road with a bone saw, just cutting
no, see,
off like people's limbs.
that's just
like,
way too complicated.
oh, that's too complicated.
I'm just thinking
You
about
just-
Repo Man, the genetic
Oh
opera.
my
They
god,
mean-
I love blind
Did
bag.
they mean body bag? Like they're carrying around body bags?
said duffel bag.
They said duffel bag.
Duffel
8
bag.
heads in a duffel bag.
Could you imagine like if body bags just had like a duffel-esque feel to them? Like you just like carry it around.
You just
like,
swing the
I-
person over your back, like, on to the next one.
Funny story.
off to the gym. All right, here we go.
When I was younger, I had a boyfriend that worked at a bag factory, and he brought me home a body bag. They were commissioned to make body bags.
Bring out your dad. Ding.
No, but it was one of those things like I put myself in it and like I inchwormed my way out to the side of the road to see if anybody would do anything. And it's not a black body bag; it's actually a like stark white body bag, but it's made of tarp and it has little handles on it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, this was like a legit body bag. Like he made bags. Like he also made like aerospace bags. Like just if it's a bag, he made it, and just all bags.
So pretty much the ultimate bags necessary for both life and death.
Well, just whatever. And yeah, I don't know why we got into the topic of body bags, but anyways, it was.
Because the cops are putting people into duffel bags.
Oh yeah, well maybe they're just
Don't
body.
worry, I got your message.
I didn't.
Oh, they said in some cities they actually have body bags in their trunks.
Neat.
Yeah, gotta be prepared for all
Now,
the situations.
if you're a civilian and you have body bags in your trunk ready to go, is that a crime?
No.
I guess no, it's not technically a crime. It's not illegal to have.
Can you buy them on Amazon? That's the real question. I really want to see, like, because Amazon sells everything, like
It
everything. So I want to see if body bags are available on Amazon. So Aaliyah, continue your story. I'll give you an update here in a minute.
Well, really wasn't the rest of it. It's just like I put myself in a body bag and like rolled my way down, inchwormed my way down to the side of the road, see if anyone would stop and do anything, and it did not happen. It did not happen. So
to $22.32. You can get a Primacare BB 3201 body bag stretcher combo. It is 90 inches in length and I believe 36 inches wide.
For any time your family and friends now kick the bucket for $22.32, you can get yourself your own body bag.
does it have one of those things when you scroll down?
Here it is. Here it is. Here's the body bag.
Yes, but when you scroll down, does it say
Here.
also commonly bought with? I want to see that. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. All right. So let's just
Oh, the
from off
disaster
screen.
one?
Some off screen
It
here.
might be backwards.
This is the body bag you can purchase on Amazon, right? And it's frequently purchased with. I hope I don't hit the one click. A hazmat suit and other body bags.
Buyers of this item also bought.
Steel drums so that you can dissolve the bodies.
He wants to know if it comes with toe tags.
Oh, I think you have to purchase those separately. But
Yes.
I will look up.
But it comes with industrial chemicals.
Does it also frequently get purchased with luminol?
Yeah. Oh, or lie.
Oh my god. No, legal disclaimer. Ooh. Well then. So anyways, yeah, so that's the body bag. Only 26 reviews. It did get 4 stars though. So it's a good body bag that you can purchase there.
Decent.
Yeah, very decent. So anyways, all
Those
right.
cheap bastards. I agree.
All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. At this point, it has been a pleasure for everyone that's been watching us on the
Yes, agreed.
Thank
I
you for
do
being
have
a
to-
part.
live feed here. Thank you.
I do have to do something quite natural.
Yay, us. This was
Yay!
episode 3 of The Fine Game of Nil. Catch us on Facebook at The Fine Game of Nil /Facebook.com/ I'm messing up our title.
Oh, if you go to YouTube and you want to find our podcast posted there, it'll be fame, ? I feel nothing, another anagram of the meaning of life.
Oh, he gave it away.
Yeah.
You did.
Yep.
You ruined it.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Nobody told me we're not supposed to ruin it.
That was the
It's-
whole premise.
It's one of those things
It's out
like
there
edit
now.
this
don't
out. Just
talk
edit this
about
out.
it.
Only the 2-3 people that were watching this directly, just edit that part out.
retard alert.
Retard alert.
I'm sorry.
It's just one of those unwritten rules. Like,
Yeah, you just don't give away the title, man.
yeah.
Don't worry, for everybody's benefit, I'll
Don't
go cut my
ruin it
wrist
for
tonight.
everyone else.
Okay, so facebook.com/the offline enigma. You can find us there. Find us on YouTube at Fame I Feel Nothing. And also follow us on Aaliyah's,
Periscope.
Periscope, thank
At
you.
Ridiculous Science on Twitter.
With no vowels.
Well, some vowels.
Some vowels.
Just not in the beginning.
We'll post it on our Facebook. Go check us out there.
yeah.
Otherwise, it's been a pleasure with everyone. My name's Nick Bono.
My name's Mike Miller.
And I'm apparently douche nozzle face McCunt.
And
We'll make sure to write that down for you.
we will see you all next time.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Magic the Gathering time.